Hello, aspirants. Want to clear TSPSC Group 1 or Group 2 and ACE UPSC Civil Service Examination without burning out? In this video, we shall discuss a proven, practical, smart 8-hour daily study plan that covers what to read, when to read, and how top rankers structure their day with exact session timings, study techniques, and a weekly mock routine that you can start using today. In this video, I shall give you a minute by minute 8-hour schedule that you can practically follow in your real life. Then we shall discuss weekly and monthly mock strategy that will help you to improve faster and strengthen your weaker areas. Then finally, we shall discuss about three high impact study hacks that will double your retention without adding additional hours to your preparation. Now, before beginning our discussion, first, we shall discuss why we have to combine the TSPSC and UPSC preparation. UPSC and TSPSC share a large overlap of subjects, especially the subject of polity. We have the subject of economy, modern Indian history, geography, environment, and current affairs. That overlap is your efficiency opportunity. The smart approach is to treat the national syllabus as your spine. So, national syllabus will make your spine that you will be reading for UPSC, and the layer state specific content, the layered space specific content like the Telangana topics, the local news of Telangana, and the state economies as add ons. So, state will become your add on. Make national syllabus your spine and the state specific part of the syllabus as your add ons. This means that one disciplined daily routine can prepare you for both these examinations. You'll save time, focus on depth for mains answer writing, and still score well on the state specific portions by reserving focused slots for state on each day. The plan I shall give you balances national depth with state focus so you do not end up doing or reading everything twice and wasting your precious time. Okay. So summarizing, there is a large syllabus overlap for particularly for the syllabus of polity, economy, modern Indian history, current affairs, environment, etc. Then the state focus or Telangana requires only targeted add-ons that we can integrate with our national syllabus that will make our the spine of the preparation. And because of this large overlap, only one discipline daily routine can help you prepare for both these examinations. Now, before I show you the timetable, we have to understand that three principles that make this entire schedule work. First principle is the high quality focus over the hours. That means quality of hours over the quantity of hours. Okay. It's better to do a 4 hours of concentrated distraction free study than 8 hours of very scattered and mindless reading. Use deep work sessions with a single outcome in mind. That finish one subtopic, create 5 flashcards or your note cards, or write one answer. Okay. Finish the subtopic with your utmost attention, utmost focus. Create small notes out of it using flashcards, or you can note them down in your notebook. And if possible, try to structure an answer on that topic that you have read. Second method principle that you have to follow is the active recall and spaced repetition. Okay, recall and revision. Read less and test more. Okay, convert what you read into questions and revisit them on a spaced schedule. Flashcards will keep things fresh without rereading the whole chapters. Flashcards are your notes. Then the third principle is test and fix. That is mocks, doing the mocks and running the diagnostics on those mocks, analyzing those mocks. Okay. Practice tests are not just your assessment tools. They are also the learning sessions. Every mock should end with a diagnostic where you list the top 5 weaknesses or top 3 weaknesses and schedule specific fixes for that week. Okay. So suppose you have read a topic and you have attended a mock on that, and you have to run a diagnostic, your self diagnosis, that okay, in in this particular topic, in this particular chapter, what are my weaker areas, and on a weekly basis you have to specify a certain slot, weekly slot, in which you will be overcoming or you will be strengthening those weaker areas that you have diagnosed. Okay. Now, another thing, another add-on shall be the morning hours. Okay. It is a better or it is more prescribed that you make use of the morning hours, especially if you are an aspirant who are preparing from home without, if you are not a working professional or not a college goer. So you should be taking maximum advantage of the morning hours. And remember, well begun is half done. So if your day, the morning hours are beginning very well, are beginning with a bang, then your day will be also very productive and you will be going to sleep in a very cherished way at night. Now, here is the exact structure that you have to follow, the SMART 8 hours daily study plan. You can tweak it for your convenience, but I have tried to spoon feed you a bit block by block. So the day is built from 6 study blocks. You have to classify, or you have to divide your day into 6 study blocks, A to F or 1 to 6. Okay, there should be 6 study blocks, 4 deep 90-minute sessions, and 2 focused 60-minute sessions. Plus, the planned breaks are also very important. Okay, 4 sessions of 90 minutes or 1.5 hours of deep sessions, and 2 sessions of 60 minutes, that is 1 hour focus session, that will make 6 plus 2, that is 8 hours of daily structured and smart preparation. Okay, and you have to take your planned breaks, and you have to fix certain blocks. Out of these 6 blocks, you have to fix certain deep session blocks in the morning slot so that you can start your day with the bang. Now, details of these 6 sessions that I'll be giving you. So you can tweak the hours on your requirement or according to your flexibility. But if you wake up early in the morning, suppose 5, 5:30, you do a bit of exercise here and there, and at 6, you start with the session 1. Okay. So session 1 starts at 6 till 7:30. That is 1.5 hours, 90 minutes. And your aim here should be, you have to read the newspaper selectively. Okay. Because in the morning hours, the people, they prefer reading the news. Okay. So read the newspaper selectively and make your notes out of it, note cards. Okay. Then 30 minutes of headlines and summaries, 30 minutes, one deep article, and 30 minutes of creating your notes and linking with the facts and the syllabus areas that you should be doing in the current affairs slot. Okay. And in that particular slot, if you are an aspirant who doesn't know what to read in the newspaper in the initial days of your preparation, then in the session A, you can add the state GS part. That is the Telangana economy, Telangana geography, Telangana history movement, and all these topics that you can slot for the session 1. Okay. You have to then take a 30 minutes break. Okay. Have your breakfast, take a brisk walk and short walk, but do not engage in mobile scrolling. Do not engage in reels, YouTube shorts, and nothing. Do not get distracted by the mobile. Then start your session B at 8 a.m. till 9:30 a.m. Okay. And in this session B slot, you have to cover the core general studies deep. You have to deeply cover the core general studies subjects like history, polity, geography, that you can rotate daily or on a weekly basis. Okay. So if you are comfortable on rotating the subjects on a daily basis, that's well and good. But if you want to rotate it on a weekly basis, then there should be absolutely no problem. Okay. Now, your aim here should be that you should be able to finish one subtopic thoroughly. For example, you take the subtopic of preamble, or you take the subtopic of Mughal administration. Okay. So after doing a thorough reading of these subtopics, you have to make 5 recall questions out of that particular topic that you have read. Okay. You have to read it, make concise notes, and write 5 active recall questions that you will be asking yourself to test you in the to test you later. Then after the session B, you can take your 30 minutes break. Okay. And then at 10 a.m., so from 9:30 to 10, you can take your break. Okay. But please note that in break, you should be minimally distracted. Okay. Start your session C or the third session at 10 a.m. in the morning and pick up your optional subject here. Okay. Your aim here should be concept learning plus 2 solved questions. Okay. Use the teach back method technique and read out loud or write the short teaching note. Try to teach yourself. Okay. Then in session D, after in the afternoon session, starting at 1 to 2:30, you should be doing answer writing and mains practice. Okay. So, and before these, between these, session C and session D, you have a 1.5 hours break. This is your long rest. Okay. Here you can have your lunch. Okay. You can walk. You can also take a power nap. Okay. After taking the power nap, you wake up at 1 and start your session D, in which you will be doing answer writing. Okay. So here what your aim should be that you should write one timed answer or 2 short answers. You shall self mark those answers template. Okay. Make the approach by writing the introduction, body, headings, example, diagram. Try to write the answers on your own here. Then in session E, in the almost evening session at 4 to 5, you shall be doing the revision plus the MCQs. Okay. So after your session D, you take another long rest because you have wake up early in the morning. Okay. If you have woken up, if you wake up early in the morning, in afternoon, you should not bog down yourself much. You can take a rest, and in this rest, you can do certain household tasks. You can talk to your family, or you can talk to your friends. Okay. So this is your long rest to reset your brain. Then you start your session E at 4 to 5, in which you will be doing the revision using the flashcards and the notes, the concise notes that you have made. Okay. The things that you have learned till day in the from morning to the afternoon, all the things that you have read, the flashcards that you have made, the notes that you have made. Okay. Then you have to revise those. Okay. And then on those particular topics that you have learned, you have to solve at least 20 to 30 MCQs. So 30 minutes of revision plus 30 minutes of MCQ solving. Then in the final session, that is session F, 5:30 to 6:30, is your evening review and planning session. In this session, what you shall be doing is that you have to plan for the next day. Your aim should be that you have to consolidate the day's learning. What you have learned in the entire day, you have to consolidate that, update your error log. Okay. Make a note of your weaknesses and set the task for tomorrow or the next day, what you shall be finishing off. Okay. And in the evening also, you have to finish with a short current affairs recap or quick topic that you couldn't complete earlier. So what might happen is that in the previous 5 sessions, you might not be able to cover something that you planned for or you actually aimed for. And if that some portion is left, then you can do it in the session F. So session F is not for your learning something new. Do not read something new in this F session or the sixth session. Just consolidate or uh, plan, use the session to consolidate the day's learning and plan for the next day. Now, this is your daily plan. Now, what you have to do on a weekly and monthly strategy. Okay. So here I will be giving you a weekly rhythm that actually works. Okay. So you should be having 5 focus study days. For example, Monday to Friday. Rotate subject focus so each subject gets at least 2 deep sessions per week. Okay. So it is better that you rotate the subjects. Okay. So that each subject at least gets 2 sessions of 90 minutes, 2 deep sessions. That is 3 hours. Each of the subjects shall get at least 3 hours deep study for the week. Okay. Then on Saturday or Sunday shall be your mock day. Either on Saturday or Sunday. Here you will be giving a full prelim style MCQ test or a full length mains practice paper. Treat the mock like an actual exam and simulate the timing. No phone, strict rules, and you have to give the exam at the mock paper at a stretch. 2 hours for the prelims or 3 hours for the mains answer writing. Then the seventh day you can have is a light day or relaxed day. Okay. So seventh day might be your relaxed day. Okay. Here you can do your reading or you can catch up your syllabus that some topics that might be left out and use this day to recover and prevent the burnout. Okay. You have to consolidate the weekly learning. You can plan for the next week, but do not overburden yourself. Okay. Do not burn out by reading more and more new topics. Okay. So just like your session F, the last session of the day was your consolidation or planning uh, session. The last day of the week, that is the Sunday, most probably, okay, can be your relaxed day. Okay. Then monthly, what you have to do, you have to schedule one full length UPSC style mock and one TSPSC style format mock paper. After each mock, what you have to do, you have to do a diagnostic analysis. Okay. You have to evaluate yourself. Okay. And what you have to evaluate, you have to identify your 3 or your 5 or 10 the most recurring areas of weaknesses. Then you have to a simple root cause for each and you have to schedule precise fixes in the next week. So suppose after an entire month of preparation, you have covered 10 different topics. Okay. Then you have to test yourself on those 10 topics. And out of those 10 topics, you have to identify the areas, the subtopics that you are actually weak in. And you have to plan it out. You have to schedule certain sessions, certain slots in order to strengthen or in order to again go through those topics. Okay. Now, this test and fix loop is how the slow learning becomes the fast learning. Okay. Then finally, about the techniques and the health hacks. Okay. What techniques you should be doing, you should be following. Okay. So these are the techniques or the tools that will help your preparation or will help you to plan effectively your preparation. So first is the active recall. The second technique is the spaced repetition, and the third technique is the teach back method. Now, the active recall, turn your notes into question and answers. Okay. When you read a paragraph, write a question instead of the summary sentence. Okay. So in the question and answer format, after reading every para, after reading every important page, try to, instead of making notes, like you should be making extra efforts. You should be like making your brain work by formatting a question out of it. Okay. This will help you in active recall in the actual examination. Then there is spaced repetition. Okay. Revisit the notes or the cards, the flashcards that you have made. So revisit card on day 1, day 3, day 7. Okay. So suppose you have made certain cards or you have made certain notes on every 1 day, after a gap of 3 days, then a gap of 7 days. You have to revise or just go through those cards so that the content of the cards gets etched in your memory. Okay, this is the spaced repetition. Finally, that is the teach back method or the Feynman method. It is also known as Feynman method. Be your own teacher. Okay, explain a topic in a very simple language to yourself or to your study partner. Okay, and this teaching shows the gaps, and it is faster than the rereading. So suppose you have read a topic, you have made notes out of it. Now when you are revising it, use this Feynman method or the teach back method. Try to teach yourself. Okay, so suppose yourself as a teacher and try to teach yourself that particular topic, what you have actually gained from it. Or you can take help of your partner, your roommate, or any of your peers. Okay. Then another technique is that you have to use the past papers. Past papers means the previous year question papers. You have to use them very aggressively. By aggressively, for both the prelims as well as for the mains. For mains, you have to do the practice structure as well. A quick intro along with body headings and short paragraphs under each, and a conclusion or the way forward. Okay. And you have to prepare answer templates in advance. Answer templates by introduction, body, and conclusion approach. Then taking care of your health is also, you cannot go out and study in poor health. Okay, health is the number one priority. Okay, you have to sleep for at least 7 hours. This is entirely non-negotiable. If you want to extend, you can sleep for 8, or you can also sleep for 9 hours. Okay, there shall be no restrictions on sleeping because consistent sleep beats the late night cramming. Then you have to properly keep yourself hydrated and include a protein diet in your breakfast to sustain your concentration. You have to avoid very heavy and fried breakfast that will make you drowsy. Okay. So many of people, they get this kind of food coma thing. So after they take a very heavy breakfast, a very heavy oily and solid breakfast, they tend to feel very dizzy when they open their books. Okay, you have to take short walks in your breaks between the sessions, and for the your studying method, you can use the Pomodoro variants. Okay, you can divide your study time into 50 and 10 minutes, 50 minutes of reading, 10 minutes of break. Okay, then, or you can go for the 25 or 5-minute method, but I'll prefer this 50-10 variable of this Pomodoro variant, but it can be flexible. If you are in a flow, extend to finish a thought, and if distracted, then shorten your sessions. Okay. Now, two of the most non-negotiable things here. Firstly, is the daily 1 hour revision. Okay. You cannot skip. You should never skip your revision slot, and a weekly timed mock. Okay. So daily revision and a weekly mock. These two things, what they will do, they will keep your memory sharp and reveal the gaps early in your preparation. Okay. So what happens is that the students or the aspirants, they procrastinate taking the mocks. Okay. And till the end, they are not able to identify the weaker areas. or they are not able to tackle their weaker areas. Okay, so that should not be the case. Now, finally, some of the common mistakes that aspirants that they do commit and how you can avoid them. Okay, so mistake number one is the passive reading without testing yourself. Okay, and how do you fix it? By active testing. So for passive reading, the solution or the fix is the active testing. And how do you do that? Okay, so after any chapter or any topic, do 10 active recall questions or the MCQs. Okay, so the technique that we have discussed in the previous slide, active recall, and how this active recall works by framing the questions from the topics that you have learned or studied. Second mistake is the ignoring the state syllabus. That is the TSPSC's syllabus. Okay, you have to dedicate one uh, current affairs card pile or for the Telangana facts. Okay, you have to make a separate notebook for or separate notes for the Telangana facts, and you have to spend one session each week purely on state polity, on state economy, and the state schemes. Okay, so weekly one session. Okay, and you have to make dedicated Telangana cards, that is the flashcards for active revision. The third common mistake is the skipping answer writing practice. Okay, now for this mistake, what you can do, you can set a weekly target of 3 timed mains answers minimum and increase as the exam approaches. So you have to write the timed answers. So you can start with 2 or 3 structured answers per week. Okay, and then as your mains examination time approaches or nears, then you can increase the number of answers that you are writing. The fourth mistake is the most important, is the no mock analysis. Okay, you just give the mock papers and you do not do a thorough analysis of that mock. Okay, so what you can do, you have to do the review of your mocks. You have to spend at least double the mock time reviewing mistakes. So suppose you have given a mock of prelims MCQs. Have given 100 MCQ prelims test for 2 hours. So while reviewing or while evaluating yourself, you have to give 4 hours in reviewing the mistakes or in strengthening the mistakes and strengthening the weaker areas that you have identified using this mock. Okay, write a clear action plan. Do not just note that you have got a question wrong. Okay, students, what they do, they just mark a question as incorrect. They do not go through, okay, which statement of the question have they got incorrect, like what could be the solution for this. So you have to do a clear action plan. Okay, and this will help you to fix your weaknesses. Okay, this is vital for fixing your weaknesses. So in this session that we have, uh, in this long video, we have discussed the minute by minute, the 8-hour schedule, those 6 slots, that is 1.5 into 4 plus 1 into 2, 8 hours of active learning along with the daily revision, then weekly and monthly mock strategy to improve your weaker areas faster, and the 3 high impact study hacks, that is active recall, repetition or the revision, and finally the teaching or the Feynman method. Thank you.